There's a reason successful people seem to read your mind before you speak. They know something you don't, something they'll never admit out loud. They've learned to see the invisible threads that control every conversation, the ones pulling you right now. And once you see them, your entire reality shifts forever. There's no going back to who you were. Last week, you walked into that room, that meeting, that conversation. You had everything planned, every word rehearsed, but somehow they controlled everything, made you reveal more than you wanted, got you to agree to things you didn't mean to. You left feeling exposed, manipulated, weak. Here's what they knew that you didn't. Every human interaction follows 15 hidden laws. Laws that a forbidden Italian philosopher discovered 500 years ago. Laws so dangerous, his book was banned by the church. Rulers executed people for sharing these secrets. But wait, before I reveal who he was, let me show you why you're already losing. Right now, someone in your life is using these laws against you. They're not evil. They're just aware. They know why you apologize when you shouldn't, why you reveal your plans too early, why you feel guilty for protecting yourself. You've been taught that being good means being transparent, being honest, being vulnerable. But here's the truth that will change everything. The most moral people in your life, the ones who actually create good in the world, they all understand something you don't. Power isn't evil. Powerlessness is. Because when you have no power, you can't protect anyone, not even yourself. You have permission to be powerful. You have permission to protect your energy. You have permission to win. Stop. That resistance you just felt, that voice saying, but I don't want to be manipulative, that's exactly why you keep losing. His name was Niccolò Machiavelli. And before you judge, understand this. Machiavelli didn't teach evil. He taught reality, the difference between how the world should work and how it actually works. He watched good people get destroyed, not because they were weak, but because they refused to see the game being played around them. So he wrote down the 15 laws that govern all human power dynamics. Laws that kings killed to keep secret. Laws that CEOs pay millions to learn. Laws that are operating in your life right this second. But here's something I haven't told you yet. Marcus learned these laws the hard way. He was just like you, kind, transparent, always putting others first. Then he discovered the first law, and everything changed. But before I tell you what happened to Marcus, you need to understand why most people will never learn what you're about to learn. You're about to cross a line. Once you know these patterns, you'll see them everywhere. In every text, every conversation, every relationship. Your innocence is about to die, and something more powerful is about to be born. The first law will shock you with its simplicity. Never outshine the master. You thought showing your full capability would get you promoted, respected, valued. Wrong. Every time you make someone above you look average, you create an enemy. Not because they're evil, because they're human. Watch what happens next time you're in a group. The smartest person rarely speaks first. They let others show their cards. Then they contribute just enough to be valuable, but never enough to be threatening. Marcus learned this after his boss started sabotaging his projects. Not because Marcus did bad work, because he did work that was too good. Now Marcus runs 3 companies. His old boss works for him. The second law explains why your kindness gets punished. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Your friends expect favors. They feel entitled to your success. But enemies, they have something to prove. Convert one enemy, and you have a loyalty friends could never give you. You have permission to choose your allies strategically. You're not being fake, you're being intelligent. Stop again. Feel that discomfort? Good. That means your old programming is fighting back. But keep listening, because what comes next determines whether you stay a victim or become sovereign. The third law reveals why your transparency is killing you. Conceal your intentions. Every time you announce your goals, you arm your competition. Every time you reveal your strategy, you hand over your power. But here's the twist that changes everything. These laws aren't about becoming a bad person. They're about becoming unreadable, unpredictable, uncontrollable. Because the moment people can't manipulate you is the moment you become free. If you're feeling that shift right now, That mix of discomfort and excitement, you get it. Do me a favor. Hit that like button, not for the algorithm, but as a commitment to yourself that you're ready for this transformation, that you're done being readable, done being predictable. Let me tell you what happens to people who ignore these laws. They become the nice person everyone uses, the reliable friend who never gets invited to the important meetings, the transparent soul who watches everyone else get promoted with their ideas. Elena was that person, always helpful, always available, always overlooked, until she learned law number 4. They live in a constant state of confusion. Why do bad things happen to good people, they wonder? Here's the brutal answer. Because goodness without power is just weakness with better marketing. But those who understand these laws, they become magnetic, not because they manipulate, but because they can't be manipulated. The fourth law shows why. Always say less than necessary. Every extra word you speak is a weapon someone can use against you. The powerful speak in deliberate scarcity, making every word valuable, every silence meaningful. Remember Elena? She learned this law after watching her ideas get stolen in meeting after meeting. Now she speaks last, says little, and gets credited for everything. She went from invisible to irreplaceable in 6 months. The fifth law reveals the ultimate protection. Guard your reputation with your life. Not because you're vain, but because reputation is the cornerstone of power. Once it's ruined, you're defenseless. But once it's established, you win battles without fighting them. You have permission to protect your reputation fiercely. It's not ego, it's survival. The sixth law explains why invisible people lose. Court attention at all costs. Being overlooked isn't humble, it's stupid. Attention is currency, and those who refuse to be seen refuse to be valued. But wait, there's something about the seventh law I need to prepare you for. It's going to trigger every moral alarm in your body. But once you understand what it really means, you'll see why even Mother Teresa used it. Actually, let me tell you about James first. The seventh law will make you uncomfortable. Get others to do the work, but always take the credit. Before you reject this as evil, understand what Machiavelli really meant. Every successful person you admire does this. They build systems, they delegate, they orchestrate, then they attach their name to the result. It's not theft, it's leverage. And those who refuse to use leverage die exhausted and unrecognized. James built a $1 million business using this law. Not by stealing, by orchestrating, by being the conductor of the symphony. The eighth law reveals why you lose arguments you should win. Make other people come to you. When you chase, you lose power. When you react, you give control. The powerful create situations where others must respond to them. You have permission to make others come to you. You're not being arrogant. You're being strategic. The ninth law shows the price of victory. Win through actions, never through argument. Every argument you win verbally creates a hidden enemy. But when you demonstrate superiority through results, no one can dispute reality. Here's what you need to understand. These aren't just ancient principles. They're operating in your life right now. That person who always seems to get their way, they're using law number 10, but there's something darker about this law. The 10th law explains your social anxiety. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. You're not mean for protecting your energy. You're smart. Emotional states are contagious, and those who refuse to guard their space become what they tolerate. You have permission to cut toxic people out. You're not being cruel, you're being conscious. The 11th law reveals why needy people fail. Learn to keep people dependent on you, not through manipulation, through indispensability. The moment you become replaceable is the moment you become disposable. Stop right there. That voice telling you this is wrong. That's not your conscience. That's your conditioning. The same conditioning that's kept you powerless. You have permission to become indispensable. You have permission to be needed. The 12th law will show you the difference. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm. One sincere gesture covers dozens of deceptions. Not because you're lying, but because strategic truth is more powerful than constant transparency. The 13th law will free you from your people-pleasing. Appeal to self-interest, never to mercy. Stop expecting people to help you because it's right. Show them how helping you helps them. This isn't cynical, it's honest. Antonio learned this after years of favors that went nowhere. Now when he needs something, he leads with their benefit. His success rate went from 10% to 90% overnight. People line up to help him now. The 14th law reveals the ultimate disguise. Pose as a friend, work as a spy, not to betray, but to understand. Everyone gathers intelligence. The only question is whether you do it consciously or accidentally. The 15th law delivers the final transformation. Crush your enemy totally. Not physically, psychologically. Leave no room for revenge, no space for resentment. Complete victory or don't engage at all. Now let me tell you what you're really learning here. You're not becoming manipulative. You're becoming impossible to manipulate. You're not becoming evil. You're becoming effective. You're not becoming fake. You're becoming strategic. Every person who's ever protected you, provided for you, created something meaningful. They understood these laws. Remember Marcus from earlier, the one who learned the first law? He now runs 3 companies, not because he became evil, because he became aware. Elena, she's leading the team that once ignored her. She didn't change her heart, she changed her strategy. James, he turned his enemies into his strongest allies. Not through force, through intelligence. The question isn't whether these laws are operating in your life. They are right now. Someone is using them on you as you listen to this. The question is whether you'll keep being the victim of them or master them. Because here's what I haven't told you yet, and this is where everything gets real. These 15 laws are just the surface. Machiavelli wrote them for princes, for rulers, for the 1% of people willing to see reality without filters. But there's a deeper level, a psychological framework that connects all 15 laws into one unified system of power. A system so powerful that once you understand it, you don't just see the threads, you become the one pulling them. You felt it throughout this entire conversation. That mix of discomfort and excitement. That sense that you're crossing a line just by listening. That's your old self dying. Your conditioned self. The self that was programmed to stay weak, stay small, stay controlled. If you're ready to complete this transformation, if you're ready to join the few who see reality clearly, then you already know what to do. Subscribe to this channel, not because I told you to, but because you recognize what we're building here. A revolution of awareness. A brotherhood and sisterhood of the psychologically sovereign. A place where forbidden knowledge becomes practical power. The notification bell isn't just a button, it's your declaration that you refuse to remain asleep. But here's the thing. Most people will watch this and do nothing. They'll feel the truth of it. They'll know it's real. But they'll choose comfort over power. Which one will you be? I need you to do something right now. Comment below with just 2 words. I'm ready. Not for me, not for the algorithm, but as a contract with yourself. A line in the sand. A declaration that your old self dies today. Because tomorrow, when you walk into that room, that meeting, that conversation, everything will be different. You'll see the threads, you'll know the game, and for the first time in your life, you'll be the one in control. Click that notification bell now. Your transformation has already begun. But whether you complete it, that's up to you. Welcome to the other side of innocence, where power isn't evil and weakness isn't virtue. You can never go back to who you were before this moment. The only question is, how far are you willing to go forward? Remember this, with great power comes great responsibility. Use these laws to protect, provide, and prosper, never to harm the innocent. Because the truly powerful don't need to hurt others. They're too busy building empires. Your empire starts now. If you understand that, you're already more dangerous than 99% of people watching. In the best possible way. The game has already begun, and now you know the rules.